So today I wanted to do a little video on my vehicle, my overlanding machine, daily driver. I've owned it since 2021. It's a 2006 Land Rover LR3. It's undergone a lot of transformation over the years, at least in terms of like different rooftop tints and accessories and stuff like that. Maybe if I have some time at the end of the video, I'll talk about how it's been for me. Overall, I've absolutely loved this truck for my purposes. But of course, it hasn't all been peaches and cake. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions about the truck in general or anything I've done to it.
All right, so let's do a brief walk around. Truck is on an angle, so this whole thing's going to be a little tilted, but here's the front. Got our super sweet Zeke Chinese 12,000 pound wireless winch that really needs to be spooled up. Not sure if you can see it. I've also got this really crappy Amazon winch plate that was not happy to go to the beach 3 different times in Texas, and probably needs some attention. Got this grill, got off eBay for 50 bucks or something. So 2006 LR3, Plastidip rims, you know what I'm saying? Which really looked awesome when I first did them, and from 20-30 feet they still look good.
I just, I wish I knew what happened to them.
Tires are 31.5. Let's see, 265/65 R18, the largest tire that will fit this car if you lower it to its lowest setting and still be able to drive it. So for me, I thought if the air suspension fails on the trails, I want to be able to drive it out.
And what a perfect segue to talking about the main reason why I bought the truck, which is the air suspension, which gives the truck about 5 inches of travel from the lowest setting to the highest, and that can even be adjusted more, as you'll see coming up shortly, if you have the special Gap IID tool, which is a third-party tool. It's about 500 bucks, and it allows you to control basically every known parameter in the system, including setting your air ride heights. You can go all the way to the bump stops, and then you can extend it as high as it will theoretically go.
All right, here I am with the Gap IID tool interface on my phone via Bluetooth. So this is what's going to let me go from bump stops to ultra high lift mode. So right now we are on the bumps, and once I press this, it'll start going. I'm going to go ahead and switch to time lapse.
So while the truck is doing its thing, I just want to talk about how practical this air suspension has been for me, both on and off the trail. For example, off the trail, I had to get into a parking garage recently, and with my rooftop tent, I would not have been able to if I couldn't lower this car. On the trail, I use it if I, need a couple inches more clearance to get through a mud rut or some kind of obstacle. And then when I'm back at camp, I lower it all the way down just to make everything much easier to access, like stuff on the roof, stuff like that. Okay, segue over, back to the video.
I think there's an aftermarket product where if you fit bigger tires, you can still do that. Some kind of strap or something, but I don't need giant ass tires for overlanding, so Nexen Rodian AT Pros. Second set, first set dry rotted on me. Nexen gave me like 600 bucks to buy a new set, which didn't cover all 5, but it was close. I bought these because they were 135 each when I got them. And they've been great. Very comfortable on the road, very quiet. These things are a goddamn nightmare. They like to pop off, and then when you open the door, they stick. So I had to rip that one off. I think the other side has them both ripped off. Oh man, catching me in my jammies today. All right. This shit will not come off. I use a dual action polisher on the other side, a rubber like eraser wheel. I did everything. It just doesn't come off, but I'll show you on the other side. It looks a little better. Rooftop tent. It's a Nature Nest Polaris 2, I believe. All about the Nest. Here's the back. This is my rear view camera slash backup camera. It doesn't work very well as a backup camera since it's so high up, but it also allows me to keep a close eye on my cargo, which is why I mounted it up there. Also, I use a hitch mounted cargo carrier a lot, and wanted to be able to keep an eye on the cargo, and I wanted the camera to clear that. So I think if I had it down here, it might not clear it. I don't know. I like it up there, but it's not so good for reversing. Tent. This ladder I will not recommend to anyone ever. It's just kind of a piece of shit. I got one from Atlantic British, I think, and the first one was bent up, so they sent me a new one. And then when I installed it, I was like rushing, and I just didn't think about what I was doing, and I scratched the shit out of my paint, which at the time was beautiful. When I bought this car, the paint was gorgeous, but I quickly changed that. So as you can see, I went back through with friggin' Gorilla Tape and two-sided tape for the second or third time I installed it, but it's so hard to get this right up in there and tightened and perfect. It's easy to get one side. Wait, you can see that side. It's not so easy getting both. And I think I scratched it up here as well. Oh, while we're up here, these third brake lights on these trucks go out as in crack and leak, pretty much no matter what. And they're a real pain in the ass to replace, like a huge job. So I've gone and done some, whatever this shit is. I think it's marine grade silicone sealant. It's been on, let's say, a year, and I only recently started getting more leaks. But so let's say it worked for a solid year, and I'm totally happy with that. I don't care much how it looks. All right, so truck. So here's what I meant about this side. They just won't come out no matter what. The glue or whatever is just etched in there. It's kind of dumb, but that's the way she is. More tent shots. Here's the connection to my battery box from the tent. Inside the tent is a nice little USB/12-volt power box. Rack, if you want to call it rack, is made of uni-strut.
So originally it was an actual rack made with uni-strut, so no welding required. And eventually it was just easier to only use 2 of the thicker pieces across as crossbars.
Homemade rack. Plastidip on that was a terrible idea, which I think I knew going in, but I did it anyway. Got some TPU printed end caps. My buddy printed those for me on his Bamboo. I had some PLA ones that were garbage. Actually, these are PLA right here, and they've been on for years. But these ones failed. So he made me those in TPU, and so far so good. Speaking of 3D printing, this, if it weren't obvious, this cover, which keeps rain and it shades it a little bit from the sun, is 3D printed. That's PLA too. This is my second one. It'll fail. I don't care. I'll just print another. I'd rather do that than messing with PTG on my crappy ass printers. So yeah, you know, it's got the traditional clear coat failing here. The hood, I think, is not so far behind. If we step inside, it's as clean as it usually is. I probably cleaned the inside twice in 4 years. Sorry about the key ding.
I did a full section on this CarPlay, Android Auto, rear view mirror / dash cam thing without realizing that I was showing my address the entire time. So maybe I'll do something on that another time.
Little view of the back from the front. Got the triple stacked sunroofs. There's 3 of them, but only one actually opens. I don't know if you can see that last one. There it is. But they are nice for looking at the stars if you're sleeping in here or letting some light in. Back seat, windows up. That's the way we like to power all of our stuff. This is my power station. It's a DIY deal. I'll do a video on that sometime. 120 amp hour, well, 1.5 kilowatt hour capacity. It's a 12 volt system. Here's the 2500 watt inverter, which runs fantastic. It's a Vivor brand. And this right here, Wanvon. I mean, how can you get better than Wanvon? Couple of 12 volts here. That's a USB PD and I don't know, 3.0, and then this is just a regular 12 volt that has a thing plugged into it. Here's where it's connected to the alternator using this Anderson SB 175 amp, which obviously is way overkill, but that's what my battery came with. 6 gauge to the alternator. So inside this is a charge controller that's solar / alternator. DC-DC charger is what it's called, but it does solar and alternator. At 30 amps, it's a Renogy 30 amp, so it's been good for years, no complaints. Runs at 400 watts, 30 amps all the time, never had an issue. There's an XT60 input or 2 for the fridge, and then the other one goes up to the roof for the, what is that? For the tent. Speaking of fridge, here she is in her little cradle, set power. I've had this, I guess another 3 years, 2 years. It's been great. It's called a dual zone, but it's not. But it does go down to 0 degrees if you need it to. I'm a Gorilla Tape aficionado. Looks like that one's coming off a little. And there's my potable water tank for washing hands and dishes and stuff. Mounted it on top of this Unistrut cage. I love Unistrut. There's the power strip running to the inverter, and there's a mosquito trying to bite me right now. Let's go around back. Favorite part of the build is this Keurig. I absolutely love this thing, but it is in kind of a crappy spot because if I need to use it, I kind of need to shut this so I can reach up, pour water in here, and run. It's consumes like 1500 watts, so it's never really made the battery sweat. I think I've got a 250 amp or 300 watt or 300 amp fuse on that battery. So here's just a little water boiler. What do you call that? Kettle for tea. This is the front runner water tank. Just kind of happily sitting up here using gravity power to this hose with just a basic little valve on there. I'm getting eaten alive right now. So normally these cars either have like a cargo section or a third row. Mine came with a third row. Deleted that and just cut up some plywood, bolted it into a few different places, gave myself an access hole for the spare tire, which again, this is the biggest size that will fit in the stock location. And I also have to air it down completely and take the valve core out even to fit it there. But so this is put a 19 mil through here, and I can crank down the spare tire winch. Set power, fridge slide. It was like 180, and then I found one on Marketplace, basically new for, God, what'd I give that guy? 80 bucks? So I have two. I was gonna put the other one in my wife's car. It never happened. But yeah, it's been a good fridge. Cools things quite well. I think it has a decent compressor, LG maybe. Yeah, it'll go down to 0. Oh yeah, this is what I'm drinking today. I am absolutely loving this stuff right now in the summer. Nice citrusy Belgian white. So good. So that's the rear. Got, this is a nice little hack with these bungee cords. It really helps if I'm trying to store stuff up here, like sleeping bags, pillows, my dog's stuff. It'll just keep it. These things are pretty cool. I think there's a mod you can get to where they actually stay up instead of falling on you. So yeah, I mean, that's the rear. Here's where the wiring goes for the, well, it was, and will be again, a solar panel is what this wiring was for. When I sold my old tent, I sold the panel with it and haven't mounted a new one yet. So I actually just went ahead and I switched it to power the stuff in the rooftop tent, the lights and the USB power box thingy. And then this is for the rear view camera. Tucked down, there's a grommet. These 2 screws pops out and there's a grommet for the wiring. Just cut a little slit in the grommet, feed the wiring through there. And then there's a panel, access panel here, you can pull the wiring through. Pretty easy job, actually. Wouldn't say fun, but easy. And this video is getting way too long. I'm probably gonna cut a lot of this, but one of my favorite parts about this car is the seats. So now you can see they're folded nice and flat, but if you need to sit in them, pull a strap here, push a button here, and there's your seat. And of course, same for this side, which I only have one kiddo, so it doesn't get used too much, but there you go. Nice supple leather. We love to be supple. There was a third seat, but I took that out to mount my battery box, which I'll talk about how I did that later. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's the truck.